Welcome to Better Books with Kathy Houston. This is our quick start bonus that discusses tips that will help you get caught up if your bookkeeping is behind. We have had so many clients come to us needing help getting caught up. We've done this so many times, we thought these tips would help you save time if you're behind. So this training is for businesses that are behind, but it also has some tips that will help your business to become more efficient with your bookkeeping. So the first step is to make a plan. Plan out a schedule to work on this so that it's not so overwhelming. We suggest 20 minutes a day. This is a very workable schedule, and it will only get easier each day as you get comfortable with the process. The second step is to use technology to make it easier. We will discuss these tips in the next slide. The third step is to ask for help if it becomes overwhelming. But I suggest trying the tips on the following slide first before you start asking for help. The fourth step is just to start. So many times the anticipation of how hard it will be is much greater than the reality. So I'm excited to help you get past this and start releasing the stress. So let's get started. So the hardest part of getting caught up when you're more than 3 months behind is getting all the bank transactions pulled into your software. So this is half the battle. So let's discuss the best practices to do this. So our accounting software is so smart these days that it allows you to link your bank. But this is only going to pull in the last 90 days of transactions. So if you don't currently have your bank linked, do not link your bank until you are caught up. Every bank has some kind of import of transactions. The directions on how to download transactions are going to vary by your bank. If you can't figure it out, Google the name of your bank and import bank transactions to find the proper instructions. Depending on the software you use, it will allow certain file formats, CSV, comma delimited, QBO. You need to match up the download type to the import type of your software. The next step is to download just 1 month of transactions. Let's discuss which month to start with. If you are behind 2 years, you have to start with the first month you are behind. You always start with the oldest month and work forward to current. So the reason that we start pulling in just 1 month of transactions at a time is because we're going to create rules based on the transactions in that month. This will make the remaining months easier to code. So what are rules? As you start coding your first month's transactions, you will see recurring transactions that will always be coded the same expense. An example, Office Depot will always be office supplies. Racetrack will always be gas. You have many recurring payments and deposits. If you take the time at the beginning to create the rules with the first month, it will reduce the amount of transactions that you have to code in later months. So your rule would be for anytime you see Office Depot, that's automatically going to be coded to office supplies. The next rule, anytime that you see racetrack, it's automatically going to be coded to gas. So then that will decrease the amount of transactions that you're actually having to look at and manually code. One last tip for coding a lot of transactions at once. You will have special transactions that you're just unsure how to code. Code them to Ask My Accountant. You can add it as an expense if you don't already have it in your chart of accounts, but put an explanation in the notes section of what the transaction is for. Then when you're done, you'll have one expense category to focus on and repost. Hopefully, once you finish my training, it might even offer some suggestions to help you clean up that account. Once you have your books caught up, you need to schedule 20 minutes each week to code transactions for your books. Actually put this time on your calendar just like an appointment. It is that important. Once you have finished this section of the training, you will feel a huge weight lifted off of your shoulders. Again, remember that the anticipation is much worse than the reality, so just start. You can do this.